Today we start with a story that you have probably not even heard of, especially if you don't live in West Bengal, and I don't blame you for it because that is how bigotry is conveniently papered over by just staying quiet about it. So what happened? A literary event in Kolkata featuring poet-lyricist Javed Akhtar was put off this week after objections from the Jamiyat Ulema-e-Hind and the Wahiya-Hind Foundation. This program was called Urdu in Hindi Cinema and was scheduled to be held between August 31 and September 3. I waited to see maybe somebody would step up and say, we will host Javed Akhtar. It doesn't matter what kind of threats are being issued against the event. But it didn't happen. Everyone just remained mum as if nothing was wrong. The Jamiyat and Wahiya-Hind Foundation, both of them decided that Javed Akhtar is unacceptable, that he's a shaitan in human form and that he has repeatedly spoken against religion and God, and that's why his presence in Bengal was intolerable and everyone fell in line. That's it. The veto of these people, these organizations, was enough to make the West Bengal government and that Urdu Academy run by the West Bengal government to back down. It also must be noted that the Chief Minister herself is the chairperson of this Urdu Academy. In an official statement, the member secretary of the Academy said that the 4-day program was put off because of unavoidable circumstances. What are those circumstances and why they couldn't be avoided? There was no answer forthcoming. But they have no one fooled. Activists say that the real reason for the postponement was the fear of unrest and a possible political backlash given that elections are scheduled in Bengal next year. Author Taslima Nasreen, who herself had to leave the state, also waded into the controversy today, saying that in Kolkata today, there is no one to speak for freedom of expression, secularism and democracy. That's right, the people who tour the country talking about secularism, saving the constitution and democracy, today are mum. They are simply quiet. Just as their lips were sealed when Taslima Nasreen was forced out of Kolkata, their lips remain sealed now when Javed Akhtar has also been barred from entering the city. The state government, through all of this, is conspicuous by its silence. The interesting part is that even those within the ruling party who have rallied for free speech from Kashmir to Kanyakumari have absolutely no opinion on this. The only ones speaking are a few civil rights groups and opposition parties in the state, and if there was any hope in the government that they would be able to distance themselves from this debacle, the man who put paid to that hope was West Bengal Minister Siddiqullah Chaudhary. The Minister of Mass Education Extension and Library Services in West Bengal government made it very clear that the CM herself knew about the Javed Akhtar issue and asked the Urdu Academy herself to postpone its event because of the anger against the lyricist.
Here, the government and under the leadership of Mamata Banerjee, the Siddiqullah Chaudhary and Urdu Academy people, they are very selective. They won't allow anybody who will not speak in accordance with their want. Here we are observing years together that these Trinamool people, Trinamool MLAs and the Muslim leadership under the behest of Trinamool, they are very selective.
स्पीच है जो डायरेक्ट मजहब इस्लाम पर और जो बात हम जुबान में कह नहीं सकते ऐसे खराब बात उन्होंने किया है आज़ादाना। ये बातचीत का फ्रीडम नहीं है, ये डायरेक्ट अटैक है। दीदी चूँकि सीएम है और पल्स को समझते हैं कि क्या होने वाला है, उनके पास इंटेलिजेंस रिपोर्ट पहुंची है कि मुसलमान इससे खफा हैं।
जावेद अख्तर एक बड़ा आदमी है तो है, ये गलत है, ये अन्याय है। जावेद अख्तर साहब को सारे हिंदुस्तान के लोग उनको सम्मान करते हैं, उनको ये अधिकार है उर्दू अकेडमी में जाने की। बुरा लगता है बहुत, ये नहीं होना चाहिए। बंगाल में उनको स्वागत करना चाहिए था।
तो ये कहते हैं कि तू तो काफिर है और जहन्नुम में जाएगा। वो कहते हैं जिहादी पाकिस्तान चला जा। अब अगर मेरे पास सिर्फ चॉइस पाकिस्तान और जहन्नुम यानी नरक की है तो मैं नरक ही जाना पसंद करूंगा।
ये शख्स के आने से मुसलमानों में बहुत बेचैनी पाई जा रही है, क्योंकि इसने इस्लाम के ख़िलाफ़, मुसलमानों के ख़िलाफ़ और ख़ास तौर से अल्लाह के ख़िलाफ़ बहुत बकवास बकी है। और ये इंसान नहीं, इंसान नुमा एक शैतान है। लिहाजा उर्दू एकेडमी से हमने बार बार गुजारिश की है, और आपके चैनल के ज़रिए से भी हम गुजारिश कर रहे हैं कि इसको जो है जावेद अख्तर को इस प्रोग्राम में शरीक ना करें। इसके शिरकत से मुसलमानों में जो है नाराज़गी पाई जाएगी।
तो ऐसे शख्स के प्रोग्राम में जो खुदा का बागी है, ऐसे शख्स के प्रोग्राम में किसी मोमिन और किसी मुसलमान की शिरकत ये कैसे हो सकता है? एक तो ये कि अल्लाह का मजाक उड़ाना, नबी का मजाक उड़ाना, वो तो एक उस पर कुफ्र लाजिम आता है। और ऊपर अगर कोई सुन्नत का मजाक उड़ा दे, उनके एक तरीके का, उनकी किसी बात का अगर मजाक उड़ा दे, तो उस पर जो है वो आदमी काफिर हो जाता है।
Imagine this. The minister has absolutely no qualms in making clear that Javed Akhtar was kept out as a result of the protest of just a few people. The question is why? Why has the mob veto prevailed yet again in Bengal, and have vote bank concerns overtaken any worries, any concerns about protecting free speech? Joining us today on the show, we have Priyanka Tibrewal, spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Shoaib Jamai, a Delhi State President and Chairman, India Muslim Foundation, Delhi State President of AIMIM, political analyst Tushar Gupta, lawyer Tausif Ahmed Khan, and Saira Shah Halim, political analyst, also joins us. I'm going to start with you, Tausif Ahmed Khan. How is it that a couple of organizations are allowed to dictate to the state government? They say that Javed Akhtar is a devil in human disguise, and the event gets cancelled, it gets postponed with no explanation.
Look, the way you have described Javed Akhtar just now is not the view of the state government. It may be a view of some people, and the government has nothing to do with it. Yes, in India, there is a freedom of anyone to become an atheist, and Javed Akhtar is a pronounced atheist, and there is nothing wrong in that. He may ascribe to the faith of Islam. He may ascribe to the faith of any other religion, it is his choice. And none of the political rights is that he enjoys under the Constitution is affected by it.
Then why was he cancelled? Why was he cancelled?
Now you are talking about some literary festival, and a festival which is really some kind of a program which really is not that important. Javed Akhtar is someone who is
No, this is controlled. This Urdu Academy is by the West Bengal government. It's under the control of the West Bengal government. And leave everything else aside. Siddiqullah Chaudhary is saying that Didi herself got intelligence reports that Muslims are very unhappy with the presence of Javed Akhtar, and so this was called off. He has said it. Not anyone in the opposition, nobody else. A minister in the TMC government has said that the chief minister herself oversaw the cancellation of Javed Akhtar.
Now, you see, Mr. Siddiqullah Chaudhary has made so many speeches in the past, so many comments and remarks in the past, to which you yourself never agreed in your various programs of conduct. So anything that he has said can be, he's answerable for that. Mamata Banerjee has not said anything.
Okay. This has got nothing to do with the government. So you tell me, since you have decided that Siddiqullah Chaudhary is not to be believed, you tell me what is the reason. Just tell me the reason that Javed Akhtar was cancelled from Kolkata. Why was he cancelled?
No, the reason really should come from the organizers. It is their prerogative.
But they haven't given a reason. In the statement, the organizers have said that this is because of unavoidable circumstances. I am telling you the reason because a minister has spoken of the reason. He said the chief minister intervened. You are saying don't believe Siddiqullah Chaudhary. So you tell me the reason.
Padmaja, you and I cannot dictate terms to the organizers. It is their prerogative. Organizers can postpone the program. Organizers can.
Why? That's what I'm asking you, sir. Why did they postpone?
Cancel the guest list.
Why did they postpone?
And can modify the guest list. It is totally their prerogative.
Why did they postpone?
If there is any illegality, just a second. If there is any illegality, anybody present in the program today can approach the High Court. There is no illegality involved in cancelling this program or cancelling his invitation.
You know, Tausif Khan, I appreciate that you are a very, very good lawyer. But none of us listening are born yesterday. Hold on a second, Priyanka Tibrewal, before I bring you in. Really, you expect people watching right now to believe that you've got these two gentlemen who say Javed Akhtar is a shaitan in human disguise. We will resort to other means if he is allowed into West Bengal. And coincidentally, these unavoidable circumstances suddenly appear out of nowhere and Javed Akhtar is cancelled. You really expect people to believe this?
No, if he feels aggrieved, then he can, take steps available to him under the law.
This is not about him
The
being
state
aggrieved.
is not this. State,
This is about
state has
people
no involvement.
wanting to know how a bunch of random organizations can dictate who enters the state and who doesn't enter the state. That is the real grievance here.
These are
it's not about Mr. Akhtar.
allegations.
He will have millions of people listening to him. He's written for films, he's written for plays. They will listen to him on the radio. The real grievance here is, who are these people to dictate who enters West Bengal? That is the real problem, but all of this is a coincidence.
I would urge Mr. Javed Akhtar to come and join the Bhasha movement that is going on. He's such a literary person. He believes in the
I don't think now you will also dictate to Javed Akhtar where he can speak and where he can't. So if he needs to be heard, he needs to take your political platform and agree with what you say. He has the right to say what he wants to say. You will not dictate that you join our Bhasha movement. That's when you get a voice. Priyanka Tibrewal, technically speaking, nobody has said that it is because of the Jamiyat that Javed Saab was not allowed to come. So Tausif Khan is right in saying that, well, there must have been some problems and the organizers are well within their rights.
So a unit of government invites Mr. Javed Akhtar, and then Tausif here is saying that if such invitation is cancelled by the government, then Mr. Akhtar should go to the court and say that this government invited me, now this government has cancelled the program. So please give me some relief. This is what he's wanting. No, this is absolutely not the case. The case is exactly what Siddiqullah Chaudhary has said. Now, there are some democratic Muslims who believe in secularism and they wanted to hear out Mr. Javed Akhtar. But the ones who are the vote bank of Mamata Banerjee, some radical elements, and whom they call fundamentalists, now they did not want Mr. Akhtar to come to Bengal. So Mamata's hands are tied. Mamata Banerjee's hands are tied because vote is here in March, in the month of March. And she knows that she is depending entirely on that particular vote bank. So that is why they have the audacity to challenge the government and say that this is the person we do not want and you will make sure that he doesn't come. The chief minister is left with no choice. Forget constitution, forget fundamentalism, forget whatever she knows about the rights of the people. Because this particular group on whom she counts has told her that he will not come, and that is why the program is cancelled.
Shubhankar Bhattacharya, fundamental rights are subservient to fundamentalists, apparently.
Of course. See, the thing is that if you
fundamental rights are subservient to fundamentalists.
I'll tell you. You asked the question, now wait for the answer at least. Allow me to speak. So, Padmaja, the thing is that today we are being so much surprised by Javed Akhtar's show has been cancelled and all. I tell you the simple reason. Leave all the fundamentals and everything behind. It is a very simple reason that a chief minister has an entire duty towards the state so as to maintain the law and order. And so as the same case like what happened with
so you're basically saying that if people threaten to engage in violence, they will get their way. That is what it is. It's veto of the mob. They're saying we are going to engage in violence and the state says yes. Yes, please. We will do what you say.
Padmaja, now I'll give you a very simple answer that the chief minister just prevented the Bassi case, what happened in Maharashtra, to be repeated in West Bengal. That is why it was stopped.
No.
So that the same
that
thing
is why
happened in Maharashtra with the Bassi, what BJP did with Bassi, what BJP did with Bassi, then because they took the name of chief minister, the goose of chief minister broke down the entire venue just because Bassi just took the name of the chief minister.
What are you talking? What is he discussing? What is the topic? Don't waste time.
Come on. That
Don't
is the
waste
reason.
time.
So that
I think you got your comedians mixed up, and that's why I was a little confused. Shubhankar Bhattacharya, I don't think you mean Bassi. I think you mean Kunal Kamra. Poor Kunal Kamra, at least get his name right. You mean the Shiv Sena which attacked the venue of the performance of Kunal Kamra. several months after. You don't even have Kunal Kamra's name right, but sir, you're absolutely right. And what the Shiv Sena did to Kunal Kamra's venue was absolutely wrong. You know what the difference is? That those people were arrested. Except in the case of what happened to Javed Akhtar, you totally crawled before these people because they said we are going to engage in violence.
Thank you so much.
Anyone who attacked Kunal Kamra's venue is a criminal and they belonged in jail, they went to jail. Now you tell me, why did you cancel Javed Akhtar's performance? Why did you cancel Javed Akhtar's performance?
Padmaja, thank you so much. Padmaja,
thank you. He has no answer.
Yes, thank you so much. So that at least that means that you are literally
people are laughing at you, Mr. Shubhankar. People are laughing at you. They are asking you why a person from a Muslim community was refused just because some people from the Muslim community did not want him to come. So now you are playing appeasement politics. What you used to say
Mr. Bhattacharya, just a second, Priyanka Tibrewal, please can I have silence for 30 seconds? I don't only have to agree with it, I have a very definite view on this. Anyone who goes and tries to vandalize a cinema hall because Padmavat is playing there, who breaks up a comedy venue because they don't like Kunal Kamra's jokes, belong in jail. And that is what a state should do. Catch these people, put them in jail, but that's not what the West Bengal government did. The West Bengal government didn't even wait to see what these bunch of people are going to do. Whether they have the courage to come good on their threats, Tushar Gupta. Even their threats were enough to make you crawl before them. And that's what makes you ask why. Is it because you know that in 6 months from now you have to go into elections and these votes are going to matter to you? You cannot have a bunch of non-entities dictate who is allowed into the state and who is not allowed into the state. And there is a history to this.
Now I tell you.
Absolutely.
Now I tell you. I intentionally took Bassi's name because Bassi's show was cancelled in UP. Ask Ms. Priyanka to reply on that.
Why
was Bassi's show cancelled in UP?
was refused to come to Bengal? Why
was Bassi's show cancelled in UP?
That is
check
the
it out
question.
if I'm saying wrong. The viewers of NDTV, please check yourself.
Are your
Why
vote bank?
people are so
Gundas are
selective?
your vote bank.
Why these people are so selective about hitting West Bengal again and again?
Okay, hold on a second. Tushar Gupta, Shubhankar Bhattacharya's grouse is that you are piling onto West Bengal. You forget what happens in Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra.
Okay, Padmaja, 3 points, and I hope I will not be interrupted. Point number 1, it appears that a 3-time chief minister, someone who's running the state for the past 15 years almost, can be challenged by 2 random groups in the name of religion. And these 2 groups can create a law and order situation based on what one intellectual says or feels about a certain religion. Point number 2, West Bengal, a place respected highly for liberal arts, cannot tolerate an intellectual who just wants to present his perspective, one who's been doing it for decades now. And point number 3, Padmaja, you talk about elections and that's an important point. But here I have another aspect to add. Mamata Banerjee and the groups that are in contention today, they're anyway going to support her. It's not like these groups are going to move away to the left or to the Congress or even to the BJP. They're going to back Mamata Banerjee. This was not about appeasing the groups who might get angry because Mamata Banerjee is allowing Javed Akhtar into West Bengal. This is not about that. This is perhaps the state government sending out an indirect message perhaps to the rest of the country that we do not tolerate anything against our core vote bank. They'll stick by us forever. They'll stick by us for the numerous elections to come. But we tolerate their feelings, their appeasement over what fundamental rights are. This is the message I'm getting as an observer in the third state. Because there is absolutely no reason Mamata Banerjee cannot control these groups. She has the law and order. She's the CM for 3 terms now. She interacts with these groups on a daily basis.
And why was
she has a political connection with them.
Check it out,
but she's telling us that she cannot control these groups for one intellectual, and Bengal is home to liberal arts. So are you telling me today
just
that
check
from
it out.
now on,
so that means UP is not a place for liberal arts?
Groups dictate in West Bengal, that will be the
it should not. There is no question about UP and Maharashtra.
Chief Minister will talk.
Great.
No. Hold on, sir. My point is, Mamata Banerjee herself is a great
appreciator
of arts. Mamata Banerjee herself is a great appreciator of art. She's a wonderful painter. We've all seen her work on social media, right? Today, can she, as one of the most powerful chief ministers of the region, be dictated by two random groups on what an intellectual should be allowed to say or not? You tell me.
A very simple thing. She is not allowing law and order to go out of the hand over there. What do you mean by two influence groups only? It is not about two groups. It is about a concept. It is about a dissent. It is about a dissent. It is about handling a dissent. It is about handling because the BJP over there is ready to take about any turmoil.
You know, Mr. Bhattacharya, and let me bring in Saira Shah Halim and Shoaib Jamai on this, to issue threats saying that we will resort to other measures if Javed Akhtar is allowed is not dissent, sir. It is blackmail. Let's be very clear what the difference. If I say that you allow this person inside, I'm going to engage in violence, that is not dissent. That is threatening the state. Holding the state to ransom. That is exactly what the Jamiyat has said, that if Javed Akhtar is allowed inside, then we are going to resort to other means. What do you mean by other means? A veiled threat is issued, Saira Shah Halim, and when the state capitulates, we are told it's in the interest of law and order. It's in the interest of law and order. Saira Shah Halim.
So many people were this.
One at a time, please. Mr. Bhattacharya, you've spoken. Saira Shah Halim.
I read one thing, that a language is a tool for communication and not necessarily a religious marker. Here, Mr. Javed Akhtar was not addressing a religious program. He was addressing a so-called cultural program at the West Bengal Urdu Academy. Now, the question arises, the topic is very pertinent. The topic was the contribution of Urdu language in Hindi cinema. He was not being invited to give a religious sermon. So, secondly, the West Bengal Urdu Academy comes under the umbrella of the West Bengal government. Now the question arises is that why is the state government pandering to these outliers? Why is the state government, somehow encouraging these hardliners to give open threats, to cancel programs? No. Calcutta or Kolkata was the last citadel of the liberals. And it is unfortunate that a man who holds a position or the stature, where he's known across the world, is being denied entry to a city just because he wanted to address an audience on the Urdu language. Now, again, the Supreme Court has very clearly stated time and time again that language is solely a medium of communication and there should be no, discrimination or identity based on language, okay? Now, Urdu is a specimen of our Ganga Jamuna Tehzeeb. It's a Hindustani language which has been spoken by both Hindus and Muslims as well. Now, if these fundamentalist organizations are linking Urdu solely to Islam and using it to promote sectarian,
there is nothing of Urdu. I don't know where all this is.
And let me talk. Don't heckle, please. So now I think who needs to take ownership? Ms. Mamata Banerjee and the state government, because the law and order is under their purview. And if they were not able to handle, an outlier like like some random organization which is issuing threats, then imagine the law and order in the rest of the state.
That is very correct. And Saira Shah Halim, I have to say today I am truly thankful that you have spoken for free speech, for culture, for the right of authors and, lyricists to be heard. Now, let me show you some examples of how Bengal has had a history with censorship of this kind. Do you know that not too long ago, in the year 2007, Taslima Nasreen was forced to leave West Bengal after violent protests were held against her. There were almost riot-like situation on the streets because there were fundamentalist groups who said that she has insulted Islam. She was forced to flee the state. Do you know who was in government at that time, Saira Shah Halim? Your party, on whose ticket you have fought elections. The left was in government at that time and clearly they did not think it worth their while to protect the right of Taslima Nasreen to speak and live in West Bengal. And today, luckily for you, she says that in 2011 when she tried to return, she found that the TMC is even more draconian than the left government, who did nothing to keep her safe in 2007. There were death threats, beheading threats that were issued to Taslima Nasreen in 2007.
Once again, I'm iterating once again. I was not part of any political organization when this organization transpired. I was very, very young when this incident happened. Again, I'm saying any kind of cancel culture, okay, is unfortunate in a growing democracy, because I'm quoting Voltaire now. Voltaire clearly said that I might not agree with what you said. However, I will, somehow support to the last of my stand in order for you to say it. He said something like that. And I think it's unfortunate.
You say you follow the ideology of CPM. That is what exactly CPM did in 2007. You are from a family which has a history to be in politics. So the ideology has changed. I don't understand.
A lot of
Shaira, you have to just admit whether you follow the ideology of CPM or not. That's the question.
Priyanka, let's not get
2007, you were too young. No, that's not the question. I was young 20 years ago. But we have an ideology. I follow the ideology of RSS. That is the question. That is what we're asking you. So with age, the ideology doesn't change.
Do not gaslight the audience now. Do not gaslight the audience.
Now we know this very well, that with age, ideology doesn't change. And TMC and CPM are different sides of the same coin. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that TMC and CPM are two different sides of the same coin.
Actually, most political parties in this aspect seem to be very similar. I remember when Kamal Hassan had got FIRs registered against him in Karnataka for saying that, Kannada is born out of Tamil. At that time, the BJP was extremely happy. And the BJP in Karnataka also said that he has insulted the Kannada language and he deserves to be in jail. Similarly, when Kunal Kamra's venue was attacked, at that time, your government did not endorse it, but they did not outright condemn it either. They said, we've taken action, but people's sentiments should not be hurt. Most political parties, when it comes to the veto of the mob, are more willing to either turn a blind eye or kowtow to them, depending on who does it. Priyanka Tibrewal. Just to be clear on that.
At least actions were taken. We are not like this government who says that, there will be a turmoil. So in order to prevent that, we will not allow anybody to come. Now, that's not freedom. We have seen in the past that this government is totally against freedom of speech by arresting professors like Mahapatra, by arresting cartoonists. We have seen all that by putting a ban on theatres. We have seen that by putting a ban on the Kerala story. We have seen that by
no talking over each other, please. One at a time. One at a time. But every political party has their compulsions. But Tushar Gupta in all of this is, and I'm frankly quite flummoxed. There is an entire group of people who are willing to return their awards, who are, tweeting away furiously every single time there is a protest on the street, who are saying, this is the real dictatorship in India since 2014, where people are scared to even open their mouth. Those people, many of them who live in West Bengal, are almost behaving like Javed Akhtar doesn't even exist.
Where was Priyanka Tibrewal?
Well, Padmaja, this is because they enjoy the patronage of the ruling class. They want the patronage of the ruling class and they themselves patronize the ruling class. It's the crude truth. They are pretty much in alignment with the West Bengal government and they don't want to be in the wrong books of the TMC government. But my simple question is, since we're talking about elections again and again, should the people of West Bengal take this message from this entire episode that two random groups can dictate the state government and can hold hostage the entire law and order of the state only because an intellectual and individual from a third state is going to be there for a single event? It's a very important message for the people of West Bengal that is their law and order so threatened now?
Tausif Khan, answer that. Is this a clear electoral message to a community that, listen, your writ is going to run in West Bengal. We are with you. Don't worry. If somebody antagonizes you, they will be made to leave West Bengal. You will have your say.
If there is any message, political message, then there's only one political message, that law and order situation will not be tolerated. any threat to law and order will not be tolerated. And such a situation will be prevented.
So control the Jamiyat, which is threatening a law and order situation. Javed Akhtar is not creating the law and order situation. Jamiyat is creating law and order situation.
It's a preventive measure.
A preventive measure. This is the same logic as saying that if Karni Sena is protesting against Padmavat, you stop the release of Padmavat instead of reining in the Karni Sena. What kind of logic is this?
No, Padmaja, hold on.
There is
Padmaja,
no Karni Sena-like situation in Bengal. First of all, let us be clear.
Exactly. The Jamiyat didn't even have to engage in violence. They just had to issue threats and you were ready to kowtow.
Padmaja, the decision was by Urdu Academy, by the organizer of this program, and they have postponed it. Is there any political, some minister has made some kind of political...
Yes, there is political. It is entirely political.
Instruction from the government. Is there any instruction from the government? Is there any Karni Sena-like situation in Bengal? No.
Okay, I hear Tausif. He makes a point that law and order situation will not be tolerated. Today, are we being told, Padmaja, that if tomorrow the same West Bengal government wants to pass a bill in the assembly, they can be threatened by the same group citing a law and order situation?
Yes.
Today it's Javed Akhtar, tomorrow it will be a reform by the West Bengal government. They'll say you won't pass this bill in the assembly or we'll create a law and order situation. Where does this stop?
No, and that's exactly what happened during CA. There were protests against the CA. There was violence saying we will not tolerate CA. Same thing happened during WAF. They said we are going to protest. We will not allow WAF. You, again, like I said, you cannot have the mob hold a veto over what a state is allowed to do or not.
Who is the mob? In Javed Akhtar's situation, where is the mob? Show us a video.
They threatened the mob. That is the whole point. That they didn't even have to bring out the mob, Tausif Khan. They only had to threaten you with the mob, and you were happy to capitulate before them. And authors are not the only ones. It's not just Javed Akhtar, it's not just Salman Rushdie, it's not just Taslima Nasreen. Kerala Files was banned. Multiple films have been kept out of theaters. Why? Because one community said, we do not want this to happen, and you said, yes, we will do as you say.
Blasphemy is a defined offence under the criminal law. Blasphemy is a defined offence under the criminal law, and Taslima Nasreen and Salman Rushdie had committed that offence. That is not the case with Javed Akhtar. Please do not mix two things.
What about the film who speaks about
be compared with
the persecution of a community? Why can't that film be screened? Why can't the trailer be shown? In the month of August, you did not allow the trailer of Bengal Files. What was the reason?
No, and just as a point, hold on a second, a very dangerous thing. No, hold on a second. I think we also need to take pause here, because a very definitive statement was made by Tausif Khan, which in my opinion actually is a very, very dangerous one. For you to say that Taslima Nasreen and Salman Rushdie have been found guilty of blasphemy, by who? By who? Who found them guilty? Which court? Who sentenced them to be banished from West Bengal? The court of the mob? The court of the radical fundamentalists who said we are going to cut her head off? And you are sitting here and sanctifying it, legitimizing it by saying they have been found guilty. You are literally legitimizing a kangaroo court, a mob which has declared them blasphemers. No one has been found guilty of blasphemy in our country, sir. And for you to say that they have been found guilty, hence they have invited this sentence on them, I think sets a very, very dangerous precedence that must not be allowed in our country. Thanks very much, all gentlemen. Priyanka Tibrewal, Sara Shah Halim for joining me. West Bengal is a classic example today of consistency when it comes to free speech. That's right. Because successive governments there are extremely consistent in throwing free speech into the dustbin the moment it threatens their vote bank. Salman Rushdie, Taslima Nasreen, and now even Javed Akhtar have learned this the hard way. The mob veto gets state sanction because votes are more important than words. But what is truly stunning today is not the behavior of the state, but the pin-drop silence among those people who were fretting about the rise of an Indian Taliban when the film Padmavat faced protest from Karni Sena. Those people who decried fascism and dictatorship when Shiv Sena vandalized comedian Kunal Kamra's performance venue in Mumbai. All of these people today are missing in action. And when some of them did speak, what they said can only be described as tragicomic. Even in criticizing the Islamic groups who cancelled Javed Akhtar, these people simply didn't have the courage to name the Jamiat by itself. So an op-ed was written about how Islamic fundamentalism, seen in the Javed Akhtar episode, is a worrying mirror image of Hindu fundamentalism. Stories were seeded on how the cancellation of Javed Akhtar and the opposition to Banu Mushtaq inaugurating the Mysuru Dashera are two sides of the same coin. This is a cop-out. If you can, call out the Karni Sena, the Shiv Sena, the Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind by name individually without dragging in some rubbish both sides argument. Anything else is cowardice, and on this rank cowardice, the buck stops here.